Trevor the caveman loved fishing. He and his pet, rat Purgy, often paddled their dugout canoe into the deep waters of the swamp, far away from the clumsy dinosaurs and their friends. One day, Trevor decided he wanted to explore. I'm sick of this dull old swamp. He told Purgy, well, you'll need something bigger than a canoe. Purgy applied. Together they cut down tree ferns and tied them tightly together with vines. Then, Purgy set to work to weave a sail. The dinosaurs wondered what was happening, especially the nosy iguanodon, which peeped over the bushes to see what they were doing. Trevor cut a strong young tree for the mast and Purgy loaded a big pot full of vegetable stew onto the raft. At least we won't starve if we don't catch any fish, he muttered. At last they were ready. Trevor paddled out through the water weeds and past a stubborn diplodocus which refused to get out of the way. Then Purgy hoisted his sail, and the little raft headed towards the biggest channel in the swamp. The channel soon became a river, and they sailed along its twists and turns, over rapids and past sharp rocks and sunken logs. Strange new plants trailed down the cliffs, and a family of curious pteranodons circled the raft. A young one perched and pecked at the sail. Purgy was furious. Get out of it, he yelled. Shoo, cried Trevor, and whacked the cheeky reptile with his paddle till it flew off screeching to join its family. The raft bobbed and twirled along the widening river as the current grew stronger and stronger. Trevor and Purgy were getting nervous. This wasn't quite what they had expected. But as the little raft was swept around a sandy corner, suddenly here before them was the sea. The tide swept them far out from the shore into the middle of the ocean. The sky was growing dark, and the sun was soon lost behind black clouds. I don't think much of this, said Trevor. There's nothing to see but water. We're in for a storm, said Purgy, glancing nervously at the sky. Just then, a school of terrified fish leant out of the water beside the raft, chased by an ichthyosaurus. Oh, for a net, said Trevor, gazing at the fish. Oh, for some dry land, said Purgy. He was looking a bit green. The wind whipped the water into choppy white waves, and rain began to pour from the sky. Oh, fell sick, moaned Purgy. When will we get to the other side? Trevor wasn't sure their ways on her side, but he started to paddle as fast as he could. It was useless. A huge gust of wind ripped the sail away and snapped the mazel with a loud crack. At the same moment, an elasmosaurus popped up beyond the raft. It looked anxiously over its holder as a large black shape slid past beneath the waves. What was that? Whimpered Purgy. They soon found out. A giant mosasaurus, the fiercest reptilo in the sea, reared up before them. Its great, long body swooshed and paddled through the water, and its beady eyes glittered when it saw Trevor and Purgy. It circled round the raft, its sharp teeth glinting through the sea spray. Then it dived. Where's it gone? Stammered Trevor. Crunch. The mosasaurus chomped through the raft as if it were made of celery sticks. Then it turned for another bite. But the mosasaurus was watching its prey so closely, it didn't notice the towering water spout swirling across the ocean. Whoosh! The huge reptile was plucked from the sea and sucked up into the water spout. The pot of stew tumbled over the side, spilling vegetables everywhere. This is the end, thought Purgy. Trevor and Purgy jumped from the raft seconds before it was whirled up into the spout with the very giddy mosasaurus. Trevor grabbed the stew pot and scrambled into it. There was just enough room inside for him to stand. Purgy climbed up and, shivering miserably, clung around Trevor's shoulders. The pot bobbed up and down in the rough seas till the two castaways were so sick they hardly cared what happened to them next. Then suddenly the bobbing stopped and they were boosted right out of the water. An archelon, heading for the beach to lay her eggs, had come up right underneath them. Hardly noticing the weight of the two strangers perched on her shell, Purgy gave a sigh of relief as she plowed strongly through the waves. His is the way to travel, whispered Trevor shakily. But even the archelon had trouble with the rough sea. Trevor and Purgy let go of the stew pot and clung to the ridges of the giant turtle's shell, while foam washed over them and surf thundered in their ears. He lay and looked close when suddenly the archelon was picked up by a wall of green water and rushed towards the shore. Crash! The wave broke in a flurry of white foam, dumping them onto the coarse sand at the bottom of the cliffs. The Revoir and Purgy lay on the beach. They were almost too tired to wave goodbye to the archelon as she dragged herself away across the sand. Let's go home, said Trevor. Purgy smiled. To the dull old swamp? He asked, with a twinkle in his eye. To the nice safe swamp, said Trevor.